thank you all for joining me this evening in Europe, afternoon in the United States, and welcome. And I wanted to just start by giving you a chance to introduce yourself and say your name and what school you're from and what GOA classes that you've taken. Jasmine, why don't we start with you?
Sure. So my name is Jasmine. I go to the International School of Prague in the Czech Republic, and I've taken, my first course was creative writing. Then I took international relations, psychology, and microeconomics. So 4 courses.
4 courses. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade right now. So I started in the second half of 8th during COVID, and then it kind of just carried on throughout.
That's awesome. That's great. Brooke, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and what courses you took?
My name is Brooke. I go to Frankfurt International School in Germany. I'm in 12th grade, and I've taken solving medical crises, filmmaking, and gender and society.
Fantastic. Mayul, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hi, my name is Mayul, and I'm a student at the International School of Amsterdam, and my first GOA course was Introduction to Investments, and my second one was Introduction to Legal Thinking.
Awesome. And Elizabeth, up to you.
My name is Elizabeth. I'm a student at Marymount International School of Rome. And for my first semester course, I took a creative nonfiction writing course. And then this semester, I took creative fiction writing.
So all of you have taken multiple GOA courses, and you can hear like there's a pretty wide variety in the kind of courses that you took. What caused you to want to take a GOA course, and what brought you to that? If anybody can jump in on that question.
Well, my dad's always worked in like finance, and he I think majored in finance in like university. So I've always been interested in like investments and investing. So when I heard about GOA, I really looked for like an investment course, and then I found one. So I signed up for it, and yeah, that's why I took that one. Like it was an inspiration for my dad.
So.
And me personally, my school doesn't provide any really writing courses. We obviously have English classes, but that's mostly like analysis. So when I saw that GOA had this fiction writing course with people from other countries, I saw it as a great opportunity.
Elizabeth, have you always been interested in sort of creative writing?
Yeah. Writing, poetry, music, a lot of things, all creativity, basically.
That's awesome. Any particular genre of writing that you're into?
Well, during the fiction course, I got really into a psychological thriller, which I hadn't really looked into before. And I started writing in that genre. It became really interesting. And I think if it wasn't for the course, I wouldn't really have gotten to know that genre as well as I did. So I really appreciate that of the course.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I took creative writing as well, and I loved it so much. And the 4 courses that I took, they're like, each of them is in a completely different field. So I honestly just did it like kind of to explore, to kind of widen my horizons a little bit. And also I'm starting my IB diploma next year, which a lot of the subjects that I'll be taking, they're actually courses that I took during GOA, like similar, same subjects. So it was really good to kind of get a sort of taster of what that would look like during GOA.
Yeah, so as you chose your subjects for your IB diploma, were you feeling informed by that, or were there certain classes that you're like, yes, definitely, I most certainly want to take that for a higher level course or for a standard level course, or what was your thought process there?
Yeah, so for a lot of them, so for example, with economics, for microeconomics, then when I took the course, then I loved it and it was great. And I felt that it had gone quite in depth and that I wouldn't want to go into it further. But for example, with international relations, I'm planning on taking global politics HL next year. And I really like the course and I would love to kind of learn more about it. I realized that during GOA. So yeah, it did help me kind of realize what I want to do, what I'd not really want to go that much in depth into. So yeah, it was helpful.
Great.
My first course was medical problem solving, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go into the medical field or I wanted to go more into communications and filmmaking field. And I feel like when it came to that course, it really helped me figure out that there is a lot more stuff to medical and like being a doctor than I thought. And then I was like, let's see what other courses I can take. So I took filmmaking, and I really, really loved that class. And I was like, wow, this is definitely something I'd want to do in my future. So I feel like if you ever have like questions about what you want to do in like your future when it comes to college and degrees, I think definitely take a GOA course, because it helps an introduction of whatever you'd want to be studying.
Remind me, Brooke, what grade are you in again?
12th.
12. That's what I thought. You're the closest one to university. So how are you feeling now as you move closer toward graduating and moving towards university?
I'm feeling really confident. I'm actually excited for what I'm going to be studying, which is the communications degree. And I feel like if I ever have any questions about what I'm going to be doing, like I wasn't sure if I wanted to go into a computer science background, and I took a couple weeks of that GOA course, and I realized this isn't for me, and I switched courses, and I feel like it gives you a lot of opportunities to figure out really what you want to do.
Right. So Brooke, you can definitely tell like your GOA sort of fit into your plans for after high school. The rest of you are a little bit not quite as far along in high school, but are any of you already thinking about after high school and what you might do in university?
I think the course has helped me realize that I definitely want to go into literature. I was already very into literature, obviously outside of GOA, and I just took it to kind of see how I could expand on my skills essentially. And I realized I really, really love it. The whole writing process is something I'd love to do as an actual job, because it's a passion of mine. So it's great to do something that you love.
How are you feeling about Chat GPT now, Elizabeth, and its ability to write?
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I think it can never replace human talent and human skill. And I think that knowing that something or a piece of writing comes authentically from a person just changes your perspective on it. And I think you can feel with a piece of like you can resonate with a piece of writing a lot more knowing that it's by an actual human being than if it were by a computer. I think just there isn't that sense of humanity to it, and you just can't relate to it the same way.
That's so interesting. I think it's going to be definitely an area where a bunch of creatives will be watching that space and seeing what happens for sure. Thinking of sort of where did GOA fit in with high school? Like Jasmine, you talked a little bit about preparing for the diploma. Like GOA is kind of special that we don't have students that are doing just GOA. It's always GOA and something at your high school. So whatever is going on at your high school and how it fits in at your high school is different at every school. So do you feel like GOA complemented your high school experience? Did it add to it? How did that fit into your high school experience?
Well, I think GOA definitely like complemented my high school experience, because every other day we had like a period for GOA, so we had like an hour to work on do our GOA work. So I really liked that, and I thought it was good because it gave us time to work on it during school. So it was really like we had an extra class, like we had like class in that school, and it replaced one of our like second languages. So I really loved that, and it was really like a complimentary like class, and it just made the GOA experience a lot easier on me, and it like gave you time to work on it. So yeah, I'm glad I took it, and yeah, it just gave me a lot of experience. And
yeah.
Yeah, for me, then I feel like the course that I took, especially international relations, that was one course where we did so much academic writing. We did one essay super often. We just wrote essays and essays, and it was crazy. But I feel like it improved my essay writing a lot and just academic writing in general. And that is a huge benefit for me now when there's a lot more essay writing going on in school. The course, I took it like a year and a half ago, so that's already like some time has passed, and it wasn't that relevant then, but now it's more relevant than ever because we keep doing this constantly, and it's such a relevant skill. And I'm so glad that I kind of caught up on that during the course, and that I have it now. It was really helpful to me. Yeah.
Well, and that you were able to take that course so early in your high school experience that you had lots of chance to apply it, and you'll have lots more chance. Sure. Okay, well, Heather, I'll pass it off to you. You've got some questions about GOA as well.
Sure. I love the diversity of courses you all have taken. And the different reasons you came to them, and it's wonderful. I'm wondering if you could pinpoint one or maybe a couple of things that you enjoyed about the course. If you were talking to a peer maybe about taking GOA, like why would you tell them it's, I really enjoyed it because these are the great things. What did you love about it?
I loved how in GOA you were able to like do what you really wanted to do. With filmmaking, you had a lot of creativity, and with solving medical problem solvings, you had a lot of space to choose what case study you wanted to do, and there was a lot of creativity involved with it.
I really, really like the social aspect of GOA, and that you can talk to and get to know students from other countries and completely different cultural backgrounds. It was really interesting. And also, I got to know people in my own school who were doing the same course and become really close with them, which I don't think would have happened if it wasn't for the course. And some of like my closest friends now I met through GOA, which is really crazy to think about because I don't think that would have happened if I hadn't taken the course. And even people who are living in completely different continents who I'm still in contact with, and we still sometimes share pieces of writing. So it's really, really fun.
Oh, I love that. I love all of that. I've never heard anyone say like within their own school, like I know you go to a big school, but that's really neat. I love that. And I do love that you're sharing, not just in touch, but sharing writing, because that's sort of what you did in the class, right? Now
Yeah, we did a lot of like
that.
writing circles and workshops where we kind of we read each other's work and provided feedback, and we continue doing that with stuff that we write outside of the course, which is really helpful because you continue to get feedback from people your own age. So it's a great like alternative perspective to have on your work.
Absolutely. Good for you for taking the initiative to kind of keep that going. That's fantastic. Jasmine or Mayo?
Sure. Elizabeth, I feel completely the same for GOA courses than like meeting with people from across the world, and especially for courses like international relations, right? Then it's super relevant because it's, international relations. So you get perspectives from people from all over the world who have a lot of knowledge of things in their region and of current events that are happening in their area. So having discussions and having group kind of just being able to communicate these different things that are happening across the world and having different insights from all kinds of different cultures and perspectives is really insightful. And I love that.
One thing I really enjoyed was like learning that some like students or like my friends like were in the same course as me. And like when I found that out, I was like rather excited because I knew that we could help each other. And for example, in my introduction to investment course, I had a friend who was he knew a lot more in investing than me. So whenever I had this difficult topic, I kept on like looking on Google and researching, but I just couldn't like grasp it. So I just asked my friend, and we sat down and we talked, and he explained it to me, and I could ask questions, and he really like helped me like understand this topic. And then I just really enjoyed like being around people who took the same course as me. So like we could help each other work on like projects, and we could talk about topics we didn't know, or I found that really interesting.
So good. Thank you. And so I'm going to flip this for a second and say, what was challenging, if something was, or what would you suggest students like are prepared for, maybe?
I feel like how international the course was both like a benefit and a con to the course, because as a person in Europe, especially, and all of you guys are in Europe as well. So I feel like all of us must have faced this, but a large majority of the students and often the teachers as well, they're based in the US, and the time difference is like a little bit of an issue. Sometimes you have to just wake up a little bit later or wake up a little earlier in the morning, and that's fine. That's not an issue, but just for synchronized meetings, that's sometimes a little bit complicated, but it's completely worth it. It's so much fun. So definitely worth it.
I think also the workload in itself, it's not necessarily that it's a large workload, it's just you have to take into consideration that it's on top of other classes. And that's kind of what I found difficult in terms of adjustment at the beginning in my first semester, because it is kind of easy to let the assignments kind of slip from your mind if you're worried about other classes that you have to deal with. But I feel like I got a lot better at managing that in my second course. And I think it just helps you become really dedicated to the course, and also helps with time management and just organizing what you do and when.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I when it comes to time management, I feel like that helped as well. And then when I don't know if I was gonna say the time management really helped. And then oh yeah, the international aspect of it. I feel like with my solving gender and society course, there was a couple movies we had to watch, and I feel like because I was in Europe, Hulu and a bunch of streaming services are blocked. So I almost had to pay for some of the movies, but my friend found it on an online and I watched it there. Like she helped me find it, but I was a little stressed out at the beginning because I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna get this done. And I didn't really want to pay for a whole entire movie, which was like 10 euros instead of finding it online for free like everyone else did. And then the meetings sometimes ran very late and were a little bit hard to find as well. But the movie thing was really, really stressful when it came to that sometimes, because like there was like watch on Hulu or watch on this, but I tried like a lot and I tried using VPNs and stuff, and like Hulu detected the VPN and it was like this ordeal.
Good feedback. Thank you for letting us know about that. Mayo?
For me, it was just like adding on to I think what Elizabeth said about like the workload. So it wasn't really like the quantity, but sometimes I'd find myself like looking at my calendar on GOA, and I'd see like an assignment to due on Friday. So and it's like Monday. So I'd like tell myself, oh, I'm gonna prioritize like an assignment on like a class in my school, and then I'd find myself seeing that I had a lot of work in GOA to do because I prioritized other classes. So like that was a bit hard in my first course, but then in my second course, I really just divided everything up in my week, and I really got a lot better in time management. And yeah, just my workload just got a bit easier because it was spread out during the week, and I didn't have to do things like two or 3 days before it was due, which was a bit hard. Yeah.
I love that the time management you all mentioned, that it was helpful overall, right? Because I think there's not one way for a student to approach this that we could say, do it this way, but I've spoken with students who have said they chunk it over the course of the week, or some students who spend Sunday, like that's what they do, right? So there's not like one necessarily way to do it, but once you figure out the best pattern for you, then as you said in your second course, that made a big difference. And I love that it's carried through for you. So thank you for that honest feedback. Appreciate it.
I think just adding on to what you said, during my exam season in December, I was still doing my GOA course, but I also had to study for my exams. I had like 8 exams, so it was a pretty stressful time, but I feel like at that point, I really learned how to time manage and how to divide all the work, because I feel like working under pressure just kind of helped me. So then that time management, when it came to the second course, I was able to apply that a lot better, and it became a lot less stressful, and doing the work became a lot more enjoyable, obviously, because you had like a specific chunk of time dedicated to everything.
Sure.
Well, we've got one final question for you, which is sort of a bigger picture thing. As you are wrapping up this year, and some of you are going to university or graduating high school, others are moving into a different program. If you're going to the IBDP, it's a point of transition. What are you taking away from your GOA experience, or how has your course impacted you as a learner? Tell me a little bit about that.
I think what Elizabeth said, or sorry, do you want to go?
No, go ahead, don't worry about it.
Sure. I think what you said about time management, that's relevant to everything. Like even after when we go to university and then eventually to work and do whatever, it's applicable to every single part of your life. So that's the one thing that I feel like will always be relevant to me, that I learned from GOA, that really improved a lot throughout the courses. And yeah, so that's one major takeaway that I'll be taking into everything that I do.
Yeah, and me personally, next year my family's moving to Sao Paulo, Brazil, which I found out like a few months ago. It was a really big surprise.
Yeah.
And we're going for a couple years, and I was really nervous about it at first, but I think GOA, being as you can talk to kids from all over the world, it just makes me feel a lot more prepared to meeting people from another country, another continent, really. And knowing how to create relationships with them, because this course has really helped me resonate with people from different cultural backgrounds and just be more open to different cultural backgrounds.
That's amazing.
I love that.
That's so incredible, and good luck to you. And
Thank you.
that's so fantastic. What a great adventure. Brooke or Mayo?
With school being GOA being only online, it has really prepared me because next year I'll be taking online college for at least 1 or 2 years. So I feel like I have really learned, like everyone says, the time management. I've learned how to create a calendar for each course and make sure I have everything done on time, because most of the due dates were like on Friday at 6:59 a.m. And so I would always make sure to do it on Thursday before that time on Friday. And my online courses would be through America as well, so the time zone would be the same. So it's really prepared me for that.
Fantastic.
Well, one thing that I really like took away from like the whole GOA experience was like just like exploring new interests, because like I was really hesitant in like legal thinking or maybe doing like anything around investments like in the future. But like these two courses like really like opened up like a new doorway for me, and now I'm like more interested in investing and also like legal thinking, and it really like just gave me like new opportunities, and I'm really like looking into maybe like different universities like that are around this, and it also helped me like choose my courses for next year because I'm also in 10th grade. So it helped me do that, and I'm just like really glad that I took those two GOA courses, because like I didn't really know I was interested in these two topics, but yeah, these courses really helped me just find it like new interests, and yeah, I'm glad.
Well, thank you all for sharing your perspectives and your experience, and we wish you great luck over the summer and your next adventure in the next school year, and hope to see you back in a GOA course for those of you that will be still in high school at some time or another.